Look at this, Apollo Bay on the Great Ocean Road. If you're not happy here, eating seafood, riding fast motorcycles with dubious company, you'll never be happy. What you see in front of you here is Suzuki's GSX-8R. I knew I'd cock that up. You knew I'd cock it up too. Regular readers, punters, listeners will know that I liked the GSX-8S, which was the unfaired version of this bike basically. Now you're looking at the full faired version, which is really a sports bike. Bit of difference from the other thing. KYB suspension on the old bike or on the 8S. Now shower, and I think it's improved. That's definitely improved the bike. 61 kilowatts, enough for me. I'm getting old and slow, and that's quick enough for me. You can get up it, you can have a bit of fun. I really like the price, $14,990. I think you're going to like it too. That's right away price, of course. Bike comes in at 205 kilograms wet, reasonably lightweight, I would suggest, and it actually feels a bit lighter in the ride. Quite nimble, turns in quick, sporting seating position, but not clip-ons. We've got sort of a risen bar here, so it is sporty, but it's sporty with comfort. So somehow I think Suzuki sort of defied physics a bit. G'day mate, how you going? Do you want to come on in? Go on and have a chat. That's the way. Good on you, son. Anyway, so back to the bike. Everything's fantastic about it. I've had a great day. I think it'll sell well based on price. It's a good sporting choice. Traction control, ride modes, sensible tech. I think the shock in the rear now has improved this bike. So if I was choosing between the 8S and the 8R, I think I'd opt for the 8R. It'll be up to you. Styling, guys, what do you think? I'm actually a bit of a fan. I like this sort of modern folded look. Some people not so much. It's definitely got Suzuki sort of vibes. There's the DNA of Suzuki in here. Someone else pointed out even sort of early Katana feel, and I do feel that Suzuki sort of DNA is in this bike. Of course, as I pointed out on the 8S, this is screaming out for a tail tidy. Can you imagine a nice little stubby tail tidy there? It's just going to look $1 million. It's going to look kind of Street Fighter sport, and that works for me. So styling, it's very much a subjective business, but I'm a bit of a fan. I like middleweight sports bikes. I think it's good. A nice little trellis frame at the back, sitting on a perimeter steel. So yeah, we can argue all day about that stuff, but a bit of a fan. I really like the flickable nature of this bike. The power is really linear, and you can pick your spot, dump it in and just nail the gas. Because it's not overloaded with crazy power, it just flicks in and goes, and I like that. It's very unintimidating, yet still very sporting. I mean, I'm really enjoying giving this thing a bit of a shove, you know. Front end's good. I like it. It's a shower front fork rather than the KYB that is on the 8S. I found nothing wrong with the KYB. I think it was fine. Good as gold. It's a bike I really like. This is very pointy and firm at the front. I'm impressed with the front end of this bike. I think the rear shock is slightly overwhelmed when it gets rough, and parts of the Great Ocean Road are bloody rough. Australian roads are in shocking nick, as we know. Floods and governments that don't give a flying fat rat's passage about motorcyclists, but let's not go political. Yeah, the rear shock is working hard to cope with this road. Having said that, the bike's solid, you can really push on, and light, flickable, lovely linear power. I'm a bit of a fan. wind protection for that little screen is minimal. I don't think it's great. I'm getting a face full of air. As you can see, it's pretty shallow, a bit like myself. So yeah, that's not really protecting me greatly from the wind. This part, the aerodynamics of this part of the fairing are good. That all works nicely. And I'm wrapped in the mirrors. Good mirrors. People take note. Give us decent sized mirrors at a decent width. Top marks there, Suzuki. Well done. I really like the seating position on this bike. It's quite sporty, but it's also comfortable. I think gone are the days of the full head down, bum up. Now the trend is towards middleweight bikes, and yes, this bike has a fair bit of sporting potential, and quite rightly so. But at the same time, I'm reasonably comfortable, and I like that. I do like a sports bike, but to be honest with you, a big day on a full-on sports bike knocks me round these days. You know, like I do big Ks. I like to do big long days, and sports bikes really are out for me. Well, smaller, lighter weight ones like this with a 3/4 sports position, as you can probably see, there's actually bar risers on these bikes, so you're not like in a clip-on position. So riding position pretty much top marks for a sports bike. I tell you what, I'm reminded of that Alanis Morissette song, Ironic. I reckon an extra verse there, Alanis, could be along the lines of, isn't it ironic? I've got a mid-sized sports bike on the Great Ocean Road in Victoria and a full day to ride it, and it's wet. Isn't it ironic? So Alanis, if you need to add a verse, like it won't have mainstream appeal, I know, but motorcyclists will get it. I'm just looking at the sky, as all motorcyclists do. If you want to know about the weather, talk to a fisherman or a motorcyclist. We become expert at looking at the sky and being able to read it, because we get wet.